Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unscripted Violence Pro Wrestling Talk, your peek behind the independent wrestling circuit. I'm Stagger Lee, and joined by our very special guest. We're very grateful to have aboard the Duke of Hardcore, Mr. John Wayne Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy holidays. I'm
Oh,
glad to
happy
be here.
holidays.
Yeah, we were supposed to do this yesterday. Slipped my mind, but we're doing it now. I don't know when this is going to be out, but yeah, I'm here. So,
Yeah, it's not a problem at all. We're happy to have you aboard. So, to start off with, could you kind of tell me where your interest in pro wrestling started and when you came into starting to do death matches of all things?
my love for wrestling started when I was like six. Just going to shows at the Nashville Fairgrounds, watching guys like Jeff Jarrett, Tracy Smothers, PG-13, Rock and Roll Express, Tommy Rich, just seeing guys like that from the South just really got me into wrestling. And it wasn't so much what was happening in the ring. It was like from an early age, I could tell how they were manipulating the audience and how like Tommy Rich would sell and crawl on the mat and reach for somebody, like reach his hand towards somebody in the front row. And then that person would start cheering, and then he would make his comeback. And that's what got me into it, was just how like somebody could have somebody in the palm of their hand for 15, 20, 30 minutes. That got me into wrestling initially. Death matches come way later. In like 2011, I had done a IWA Mid-South tryout show in 2008. Didn't make it, so I got the call in 2011 to replace somebody in King. Never knew anything about death matches, didn't watch it, wasn't into it. I accepted it because I was like, well, this is my foot in the door at IWA. This is another shot. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And looked into it and seen what the fuck I was getting into. So I walked in day of, had the match with Simon Says, my first ever death match, and absolutely killed it. Walked to the back and everybody's standing up, like clapping. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Maybe this is something I can do. And I've been with it ever since.
Yeah, you definitely have done a great job in that respect. And you mentioned IWA. Any other territories that are some of your favorites to have been with, have been performed in?
Right now, currently, like I'm with GCW, and like there's just not, you can't really compare it to another indie company because yes, it's independent and yes, there's no contracts, but they're so professionally run and everything's just done right. The production, the monitors that fans can actually see what's going on in the live stream. The shit like that's great. So like I enjoy working with GCW just because it's so professionally ran. And yeah, so right now that's currently my favorite.
Excellent. And I wanted to congratulate you on the tournament of survival win this year.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was. I've won all the GCW deathmatch tournaments. I won NGI, and now I won TOS. So yeah, it's definitely an accomplishment. It definitely got me to the 10 deathmatch wins, which currently, from what I'm told, I've never fact checked this, but I trust the person that put this out there, and it's not been disputed yet. But I've won the most tournaments ever in deathmatch wrestling, international, the states, everything at 10 wins. So that's pretty sick.
That is impressive. And earlier today, this is kind of a question I was thinking of asking you. Well, not really asking you, but I was watching Triple H or Paul Levesque giving an interview saying how he was watching some Japanese death matches and said there was no story behind them. And I beg to differ because I see you telling quite a story. A match in particular that stuck out that I just watched was you versus Alex Colon. and pretty much almost every death match that I've seen you in, and a few others, is doing a very good job of telling a story. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think the Triple H comment is more like if you read a book and you don't like it, you're just not going to like it. And I think him saying that there's no story in it is just a way, or not even a bitter way, or just a way of saying he didn't like it. It's not his thing. Deathmatch, he doesn't get it. So, like, I definitely think there's stories in deathmatch wrestling, and the three matches me and Cologne had are proof of that, of the whole story of how long it took to get that match, and the not so much hatred towards each other, but a misunderstanding between each other, and the fans riled that up and they stirred the pot, and then we finally had the match and just all this shit. So there's stories into it, and you have stories that just are for match bases or anything like that. So yeah, I think there's plenty of storytelling in deathmatch wrestling if it's done right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, who are some of your favorite wrestlers to work with, or that you have worked with?
Cologne, Nick Gage. I love Tremont. I've
Yeah.
wrestled Tremont pretty much my whole deathmatch career. The first finals I ever went to was for IWA Deep South, and he was in that match. And then we had a match at Ian's early on in a bull rope match. I love Tremont. I love working and tagging with Reed Bentley. Tommy, I mean, there's the list that can go on. Redacted, I'm really fond of, and think
Yes.
that he's extremely good in the ring. You just got to Redact is one of those guys you have to know how to manage in the ring because he is a ball of energy. He is so fucking off the wall. So if you can contain that and lead it in the right direction, it's going to be good. The people that shit on him or the people that have negative things to say aren't good enough or equipped enough to lead him through something. So instead of admitting that, they shit on him.
Yeah, every match I've seen with Doctor Redacted is top notch as far as I'm concerned. I mainly caught him in H2O, but no problems there. Anybody that you would like to work with that you haven't yet?
Oh man, no. Honestly, I've done everything. I've every goal of like guys I've wanted to wrestle from Jun Kasai to Takeda, uh, anybody. I've checked off the list. So I really I have no goals as far as opponents at all.
Awesome. Coming to let's talk about independent, but just the independent wrestling circuit as you see it now. Um, do you see it going in a positive direction, especially the deathmatch genre of wrestling? Do you see that anything that you see that's going positive or anything that's going negative in your mind?
It's That's a tricky question because, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day. Like, yes, I'm glad deathmatch wrestling is popular and it's getting its flowers and all that, but it's attracted people that just want to do it for that clout. It's attracted a lot of negative bullshit as well. Uh, Sometimes I wish death matches were still thought of the way it was years ago or looked down upon, or the fact that I could go into a show and me and my opponent be the only deathmatch guys on the show. Now you go to any show and there's 15 of them that's done it or done it heavily, or there's deathmatch heavy shows with 15 death matches. I think honestly, the more we move and the popularity, maybe the more harm it's doing to death matches, if that makes sense. Everybody's
Yeah,
like, "You want it to be on national television?" Yeah, I'm great. There's spots, there's glass being used and all that, but really, the first time death matches make it mainstream, there's gonna come regulations. There's gonna be somebody's gonna put their fucking foot down or try to. It's just gonna be bullshit we don't need. So maybe I think death matches being underground and not as popular is the best way to go.
Yeah, and I never thought of it that way, and I agree with you 100% on that. I know there's been several states that have banned anything, anything like even just blading or anything like that. They won't allow it in their state. So you hit the nail on the head with that. Um, do you see? This is kind of a different question, but in terms of intergender matchups, how do you feel about them? I know you've done them. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm a absolute 100% supporter in intergender matches. I think if done right, you can tell great stories. You can have great emotions from the crowd. I just think that whoever looks down on it or doesn't see it just feels some type of way about women, and they should probably just come out and say it. Like, it doesn't promote domestic violence. Like, this is wrestling. This is theater. This is fucking acting. But we're taking some bumps and we're getting hurt. But all in all, this is just going out there and performing in front of an audience. So yeah, I'm all for it. I don't ever see it being a major thing on TV. But again, I think
Right.
that's a good thing. Honestly, like, everybody, we want to see it on TV, but it just comes with a lot of fucking baggage and a lot of bullshit that is just not needed.
Yeah, I could see the point exactly. Um, Getting to the matter of receipts in the ring, what is a receipt like in a deathmatch setting, and are they still given?
I mean, yeah, somebody tags you, you tag them back or whatever. But I mean, really, you just, for the match sake, like, you either eat it and just take it and move on for the sake of the match, or you blow up and then everybody knows something just happened. Most of that shit could be saved for the back. Hey, you fucking clocked me out there. Let's not do that next time. Like, there's no reason to blow up in the ring, especially you got enough to deal with. You got all the glass, you got all the fucking dangerous shit. And a lot of the deathmatch guys, we do this shit with each other all the time, so we're really close. And there's nobody stiffer with you than your best friend. So we're going out there with friends. So I mean, fuck, look at some of the matches that fucking me and Reed have had. It have been
Yes.
absolutely stiff, like, because we're best friends. So yeah, I think as far as receipts go, there's a way to handle it without blowing up.
Awesome. And what would you say is your crowning achievement in wrestling to date?
Man, that's a hard one. I'd say probably main eventing in Japan against Jun Kasai, because that was always the goal. That was always the goal for me. As far as the states go, I think winning TOS and NGI was a big goal because of the popularity of GCW and who's won them tournaments before. So that was a goal. But yeah, if anything stands out, it's got to be Jun Kasai main event in Japan.
Definitely. So, outside of the ring, what interests or hobbies do you have, or what do you enjoy outside of wrestling?
I enjoy animals like cats, rabbits, guinea pigs, anything furry. I'm into. Uh, so I'm
I
into
thought I
that.
heard a critter in the background there.
Oh yeah. She just jumped up on the bed.
I
Uh,
locked I locked mine away so he wouldn't interrupt.
oh yeah, I did, but then somebody let her in the room, so she's here now. I'm into movies. I'm into horror movies and stuff like that. As far as like hobbies, like, weirdly enough, I've been wrestling since I was 14, so a lot of time to develop other hobbies. Like, I didn't really get a chance to do. That's the reason it was like I started when I was young, but I really sort of advocate trying to wait till you're 18 to get other interests, because this takes up a lot of your time and
Yes.
stuff like that. So really, like, I'm institutionalized. Like, I'm 25 to life. This is all I've lived. So yeah. As far as odd hobbies go, I think I'll start getting those when I'm done wrestling and transition to whatever else, because right now this is a full-time gig.
And which do you prefer, if there is? To me, you strike me as kind of a gray area most of the time, but you prefer babyface or heel?
I enjoy being a heel. I enjoy being a old school Memphis like cocksucker heel, like chicken shit. You just want to drag him into the parking lot and beat his fucking brains out because he's that fucking annoying. That's my sweet spot. Uh, I love coming out now and having fans cheer me and just getting on the microphone and switching it up right there, and then by the end of it they're pissed and they hate me, but then they still come up and buy merch. Wrestling's a very weird world and I love it, but yeah, as if I had to choose, heel all the way.
Excellent. And what advice? Like you've already mentioned, wait till you're 18. But what advice would you have to aspiring wrestlers out there? Because a lot of people I know think they can do this, and it's a very tough job. What advice would you give to those people?
Just that wrestling's always going to be here. Don't rush it. Like, it's like, don't rush getting into it. uh, Finish school, do other things, have a backup in place, which is something I wish I would have done. I had no backup. It was all or nothing in wrestling, and eventually I succeeded, but it took almost 20 years to do so. So yeah, just have something backed up, have a good education in mind, and shit like that.
Excellent. And another thing I like to ask is the craziest thing that's happened to you in the ring, craziest fan interaction. What would you say that would be?
Uh, there was an IWA fan one time that tried to swing on Reed or something like that. And it was a big thing, but not really any weird fan interactions. Honestly, I've been pretty lucky to not come across any batshit crazy fans. So,
Excellent. And just to let our listeners know, in case they've been under a rock, where they can find out more about you, where they can see your matches, when your next match is.
my next match is Thursday in Portland, Oregon, for Pacific North Death. I'm on all social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, John Wayne Murdoch. You can find me. If you're new to me and you want to watch a lot of my deathmatch heavy stuff, IWTV, ICW No Holds Barred. If you go back to Volume One, you can see my whole ICW run. You can check out Thriller GCW if you want to check out my GCW stuff. I got a lot of stuff on YouTube. So yeah, there's plenty of ways to find out about me.
Yes, I definitely encourage everybody, if you have not seen this man in action, he is a dangerous man. He's a mean man. He's a badass. And you'll enjoy every minute watching him. John, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. And I just want everybody to know they can always find us at YouTube at Unscripted Violence Media, and on what it's X now. It was formerly known as Twitter, Wrestling Talk STG, or you can look up the Unscripted Violence Pro Wrestling Talk group. John, thank you once again for all your insight, all your input, and giving us another peek at the industry.
No, I absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on, and hopefully I can come on again and we can talk more.
I would love to do that. Absolutely love it. Well, that's everything for our show tonight, everybody. And just remember, please, 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 and always keep wrestling in your heart. Good night.